Well, hello, beautiful artisans. Welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. So I have a really cute kind of an article to share with you. If you are new to the channel, we create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I enjoy your viewers' comments, your ideas, your suggestions. And so I'm going to tell you, I've been live a lot over on some other platforms, including TikTok, and I will be more over on Instagram because I am dropping videos here on my main YouTube station, Echo Art with Carmella-T, because we can't figure out why I can't go live for YouTube. So YouTube checked it out and sent me a verification that I have the microphone on, I have the webcam on, everything's on, working. So I believe that they are now looking into that and will figure out why and what's going on. So with that, in my email, I got the really kind of cutesy article. And because I have some viewers who do make costumes out there, and because it was a Halloween season and everything, I thought this was especially cute. I already read it through, so I'll just highlight it for you, and I'll read a few of the little parts of it. But it's from historyfacts.com, and the title of it is "Why Did Medieval People Wear Such Pointy Shoes?" And it's kind of comical when we get right down to it. But the article starts out that, explaining Europe's medieval period was from the 5th century to the 15th century. Really long time. Okay, and you saw very fanciful hats during that period, kind of Robin Hood style, the tights and the cone-shaped hats. It was almost like a fairy tale. The fairy tales get a lot of their inspiration from these fashion during the Renaissance, and the puffed up sleeves and all of it. So it says here, if you were in this era, it would be certainly weird and wonderful to see the fashion trends, and perhaps no more peculiar to our modern eyes than fad of wearing extravagantly pointy footwear. So the pointies, I'm going to read this because they talk about this. This is what the article is about. The pointy shoes were known as cra-cows. That's Cracows, and or Paulaines, Poulaines. Both names referring to the origin of footwear in Krakow, Poland, okay, where it first emerged in the 1340s. So, and that's spelled with a K. Krakow, Poland is spelled with K's. So the pointy shoe footwear fashion came out of Poland in 1340s. So the trend spread quickly across Europe in the 14th century. Maybe not so quick because, horses. And it became very vogue in England. And this I kind of guessed at because at that time and through the centuries, anything that landed in England, if it was, people liked it, it became popular, then yeah, that was built upon, that was something that would be considered definitely fashionable. So, but it was particularly in England because the King Richard II and Anne of Bohemia in 1382 had a pair of these shoes in their wedding. Okay, so that was one reason that the shoes became very popular. And because of the social aspect, and it jumps down and says, fashion is often about a social display. Now, the funny part of this article explains just how far these pointy shoes went. So take a listen. So this is true, and perhaps even more in the Middle Ages. Medieval society was highly stratified, so the clothes were a way for people to communicate just, their social rank, so to speak, and or their social status. And so they would wear these tower cone hats, billowing sleeves, pointy shoes. And when the pointy shoes became popular, it was among the higher classes, and it would correlate to just where they were in their social rank. So only the nobility and wealthy merchants could afford to purchase such extraordinarily long shoes. So the longer the pointy shoe was, right, the the more that was supposed to define their social rank as higher. And here it says it, and the longer, more costly they were, the more wealth and status they displayed. So it was not uncommon for the points to extend, get this, 4 inches beyond the toe, with the remainder of those 4 inches being stuffed. Okay, now just picture that for a minute. That's quite long. Just think when your shoe is like a half an inch larger and you're trying to walk in it. But it was stuffed. Okay, so check this out. So, in a text from 1394, a monk from Worcestershire, England, wrote that some people wore shoes with pointed toes half a yard, okay, in length. So a yard is 3 feet. How are they walking in that? They're not. So thus it was necessary for them to tie the long pointy part of their shoe to their shin with chains of silver before they could walk. I mean, people, right? The ego. Oh my God. It was very expensive to have such elaborate shoes made. So it was only for the lords and the lesser extent, the ladies of medieval Europe could afford to wear them. So only the ones who could afford it. Um, and so it was especially true for the more lavish, the lengthier varieties of the pointy shoe, which were made by a special master shoemaker for a pretty penny. The fact that lengthy paw lanes were highly impractical and very hard to walk in didn't seem to bother their fanciful owners, who were willing to suffer for this fashion. Researchers from Cambridge University found that during the medieval period, the Pauline shoes were the blame for the rise in bunions. That's the end of the article. I kid you not. That to me is adorable. I mean, it's not adorable, but it's it's ridiculous, is it not? But I think I'm sorry to say, but I really do believe that people will go to any lengths, even today, to try to um, communicate that they're, you know, in a higher social class. So anyway, I wanted to get on here and share that with you. I thought that was just adorable. And again, that article is by historyfacts.com. And I'll be back on to share with you the hats that I've been making, and we'll do some crocheting on a video. We used to do videos just all the time on this channel. So I do hope that you listen, drop in, and leave a comment, subscribe, come on board, let me know what you're thinking. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're a costume maker, this might be a little bit of information for you today to add to your costumes. I never knew that. I never knew that they were actually chaining part of their shoes to their shins. Okay? So anyway, you have an absolutely beautiful day. I'll see you in the next one.